Hey, welcome back to the channel. Here is a quick and easy brow tutorial. And not a whole lot has changed with the way I do my brows, but I do want to give you guys a video of how I currently, take care of my brows. So the first thing you want to do is brush them up in the direction you would like them to be. And just taming the hairs, and I know you can see that I do need to get them shaped up. I am currently in the transition of like letting them grow out a little bit because I want them to thicken up some and fill in because they're pretty sparse in certain areas. Um, but as you can see, I'm taking a Benefit pencil. This is the Precisely My Brow. I believe this is in the 4.5 shade. The thing that I like to do first is to carve out the bottom, the base of my brow, because that's going to really help me when it comes to like finding my shape. So I would definitely recommend to do that. And I always like to start at the top of my brow, and then, kind of go up from there with how high or how low I would like my arch to be. As you can see right now, I'm just kind of brushing the pencil in hair-like strokes in the direction of my natural hair. So I'm just kind of mimicking that, filling in the spaces where there's very little hair there. And so I'm taking my hand and just kind of flicking it up, making sure at the top of my brow not to go too hard with my strokes, because I want it to be really kind of thin and faded in the front. So once I have that done, of course, you want to go in and brush your brows up just to make sure that you didn't miss any areas that are, kind of thin that you would like to fill in with the pencil. And now you can see I'm filling in the top of the brow, and this is where I kind of create my arch. If I want it rounded or more straight, you can really play around with your brows. It's up to you, what arch shape you like and what fits you best. I typically like a softer arch, so I don't really go up too high. But being that I am trying to let my brows grow out a little bit and fill in before I have them shaped again, this may cause me to eventually draw them in a little bit thicker. And the tail of my brow, I like to take it down not too far. There is a 3-point system that I think I'm going to show you guys, but here's like a before and after so you can see where we've come from on this brow here. But there's a 3-point system, and I'm going to show you guys right here that you can follow to kind of find your shape. So it's a 1, 2, 3 system, and you just kind of use your nose as your guide. The products I'm going to use now to highlight my underbrow is going to be from Tarte. Any concealer will do. I typically use Tarte, or I may use LA Girl Fawn. I will say that in highlighting your under your brow, definitely take your time with this. When you take your time and try to get it as precise as possible, it's going to help alleviate you having to go back in and fill in spaces and doing a lot of that. So I actually try to get it right the first time. I don't start at the beginning of my brow when I first begin to highlight. I like to start shortly, kind of right before the arch. That's because when you initially put that product down, you have a lot of that on your brush, and I want the most of that to fill into that arch, and I want um, a light concealing under the start of the brow, if that makes sense. And the pencil that I'm using here, or the brush that I'm using, it's a crown brush, and it's one of my favorite to use for that. To blend this out, I am using a Morphe brush. This is a natural hair brush. It is, I believe, the E27 from Morphe. Now, with Tarte concealer, they dry pretty fast, and they dry matte. So I would typically use that brush when I'm using Fawn LA Girl. because it stays wet a lot longer and it allows me to blend it out. Now this, you guys, right here is like the game changer for me. Like, I will never do my brows again without using a brow gel on top. And this isn't just for like those of us who have, unruly brows where our hairs kind of just want to do their own thing. I definitely have that. But I like that this kind of allows me to color my brows a little bit. So if I want them lighter or dark, I can, do that just by simply using a brow gel. Not to mention that when you use that brush at the front of your brows, because of the bristles on that mascara like wand, it's going to mimic hair every time you touch. So I really like that. I would never do my brows again without a brow gel. And here, you guys, I'm just kind of sharpening up the brow as far as how high I want my arch to go or that crease area to go. So you can always go back in once you get done. Kind of take a step back, look in the mirror, and see where you want to maybe make some changes and adjustments. Here I'm kind of rounding out that arch just a little bit more. I didn't want it to be as pointed, so I'm just kind of rounding it out. And you can always go back in with your pencil and do that at any time. Just make sure, after you've done so, that you brush your hairs to make sure that everything is nice and blended. You don't want any harsh lines. So you guys, this is my brow tutorial. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching.